Welcome to Torch's Mentor Connect. I'm Jasmine here at Torch on the content team, and each month we are highlighting one of our mentors to showcase their wisdom and leadership within our community. And today we have with us Helle McDermott, VP at Curium Pharma, and one of our mentors. Welcome, Helle.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you for being here. So, I shared with you earlier that one of the reasons we nominated you is for the ways in which you embody the torch value of being a self aware, continuous learner. And I wanted to start off with the question of, what does being a self aware, continuous learner mean to you, and how do you teach that to your mentees?
You know, the more you learn, the more you know, the better you can do anything in your life. Not
Mm,
just your work, not just your mentoring, but anything. You have to keep bettering yourself, and it keeps you young.
yeah, it definitely does. So I think what I'm hearing you say is there's a in everything that unfolds, right? In our professional and in our personal lives, there's an opportunity there to
Yeah,
reflect or to grow when we're getting feedback, an opportunity to really ask questions and see how we could be better.
exactly. And the world is such a changing place. So if you don't, you get left behind. I mean, who would have known what now 10 months ago that we would all be sitting at home, not talking to most people, wearing masks when we go outside, these kind of things. It's You have to be agile and adaptable, and if you don't take time to learn, then you get stuck and you will never be like that. So you get left behind.
Yeah, that's so true. Is there something in particular that you're learning right now, whether it's a habit or something in your work life?
So I think that what I have learned by having a team sitting from home is I have a team that is very international. And, so we're working out of Prague in the Czech Republic, but we are more than 20 different nationalities. And a lot of them are younger people who comes from different countries, of course, and then staying in Prague. So when we go into a lockdown here, um, I learned that we need to do much more social stuff, even if it was online. We need to do more coffee breaks, more um, drinks after work, more games, these kind of things.
Just to foster and build those connections and build rapport and build
Exactly.
team the sense of
Yeah, and things where we normally take things for granted, that we can just check up on each other, and you can walk past somebody who looks a little down or something, but on a Zoom call you might not see that. So make sure you catch up with everybody, not just from work, but with your family, your friends as well. Yeah.
super important to take the time. Yeah, in the office we have those what some people call the water cooler moments, right?
Exactly.
Being
Yeah.
able to have those exchanges with people. So it's so important that we're still making space for that in a virtual work world.
Exactly. And even if you just walk around the office, you can generally see somebody you know well. If they're not looking like they have a stressful day or something, you say, hey, can I give you a hand with something? Just some.
I know that you're a mentor, but I'm curious to know, what roles mentors have played for you and how a mentor has maybe impacted your own career trajectory.
So I've actually never had what you would call a classic mentor.
Okay.
And I think this was one of the things when I got the opportunity to be a mentor for Torch, was that I would really have liked that. I think I could have benefited from it. So if I can help somebody else, that is awesome. I have had very great managers who has been also kind of mentors for me, but in a classical form of mentoringship, I've never had that.
Okay. So how did you move into having not had a mentor before? How did you sort of navigate building the skill sets and being a mentor to someone?
Well, I think I had been a people, a leader of people for many years, and that's what you do. You can do that. But as a mentor, of course, you don't necessarily have what you say, the last word. You can't say as a leader, you say, well, okay, we are going to go this way, even if you think that way is better. But as a mentor, you can let the person weigh up the opportunity, the consequences of the choices that they take. So I think for me that was it. And of course, I've read up on it a lot. I prepared for the first couple of sessions very, very much. I still prepare a lot, but it was more about how to mentor. Now it's more like by the context of our sessions and what we're going to do and what we talked about last time and these kind of things. um, and to be fair, my very first session, I had somebody from at the time it was Everwise sitting next to us and kind of helped a little bit with a few questions.
Mm, that's great. So you had some support when
I did have
going
some
into
support, yeah.
going into the first session with your mentee.
Mhm.
One of the questions I wanted to ask next is around, I know that a lot of mentees, obviously, you're working with them on their goals. And I'm curious, what are some of the essential components for effective goal setting?
Well, they have to be smart. First of all, you have to be measurable, they have to be reachable, they have to be so all of these things that have to be. And what I like is that you can kind of bite size a goal. So if you say, okay, I'm here today, I want to be there tomorrow, or in 3 months' time, that's normally what it is, not tomorrow. But what can I do? Small things that I can change from 2 weeks to 2 weeks to 2 weeks to 2 weeks to get there. So try to set up. It's a little coaching like, but it's a little bit like kind of, okay, if we're gonna do that, you need to do this, or I need to do that. As a mentee, I would need to, if I'm gonna reach my goal, I need to do this. So you can do that, and then I think, but most of the mentees I've had has had, their goals has been, let's say, more fluffy, so not so smart, but more about, it could be have, let's say, executive presence, um, how to work with more senior people, how to have that balance when you're in middle management, that you have people above you, people below you, and you need to make everybody happy. So the group I mentor in is all, it's women mentoring women, and women helping women, I think it's called. So it's women who's become managers in the recently, and feel that they could benefit a little bit from somebody who's been manager for a longer time.
Yeah, for a longer time. And so it sounds like, I think something that I know to be true for myself is that it's easy for me to sort of overestimate what I can get done in a week and underestimate what I can get done in a year, right? And
Yep,
so it sounds like
absolutely.
you're so helpful in being able to take that bigger goal and digest it into smaller parts to help someone move
this
forward.
this is something we can do for sure. And sometimes the mentees, they will come with very specific things that they have had during the last 2 to 3 weeks where we don't talk, and they come say, okay, this I handled it like this, it didn't go as well as I want. How can I do better next time? And it's not like I would tell them how they can do better, but we would discuss different options, and what could be better, and
Mm-hmm.
how do you come across when you say these things. And so it's not rocket science, but it's nice to have somebody to be a sounding board. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that comes back to the first principle we talked about, which is having everything serve as a learning opportunity. So
Yeah.
bringing it back and saying, it didn't work so well this time. What can I do next time differently?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to move into our last question here, which is, I know right now across the globe there's so much happening. And as a mentor and professional, I'm curious, what are some tips that you have for navigating challenging conversations in the workplace?
If you have a challenge conversation, don't try to sugarcoat it.
Mm,
People may, if you want them to remember things that you want them to change, don't sugarcoat it with all the nice stuff you can say, because that's the things people tend to remember. And you can do it with lots of respect and grace and stuff, and not being hard on people, but you need to be very clear what it is, if you're having a difficult conversation, what it is that you want. And you need to make sure that there's a complete understanding between what you have said to what somebody else is receiving.
hmm
Or the other way, if somebody says something to you, you need to make sure that you absolutely understand what it is, because if somebody says something to you that that they feel is not good enough or something, you become very defensive very quickly.
Right.
And that, then it stops the communication channels because you feel defensive.
think this comes back to the importance of being direct and the
Yeah,
power of being direct, and that it's not always the kindest or most helpful thing to, as you put it, sugarcoat it or try and use fluffy words.
yeah,
There's really an importance in being direct in your communication, and you can still do that with care.
yeah, of course, but also leave leave options open for that improvement that you're looking for, or for whatever it is that you're looking for, and help the person that you give that feedback to actually be able to deliver that, I think, especially if you're a manager.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So having it be open instead of it being criticizing with no room for them to be able to receive it and adapt and change.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Helle. It was so nice to meet you.
You're very welcome, Jasmine.